A lot of people in the basketball community say, "Oh, I wish I could have seen Jordan play back in the day." And yeah, I wish I could have as well. I mean, looking at his statistics and accolades, the man averaged 37 points in a single season in just his third year. Now, how crazy is that? And then, a few years later, he three-peated twice, winning Finals MVP in each of those championships. That's outrageous. I find it difficult to wrap my head around that level of dominance coming from just one man for so long. And truth be told, I don't think we'll ever see that again in the NBA.
Or 0 for 12. Very interesting player. Steph Curry. 14 second chance points for Phoenix, none for Golden State, but making plays for his teammates.
Steph Curry and MJ. Their games are completely different, but the rules are the same. Number 30 is unstoppable on the courts, and as we've seen time and time again, no defense can contain him. Give him too much space, and he'll shoot it right over you. Give him no space, and he'll go right past you. Put your best defender on him, and he'll use a screen. Double team him, and it'll be a 4-on-3. Just like how we've never seen another MJ again, what we're seeing Steph do on a nightly basis may very well never be replicated again. True shooting percentage is an advanced basketball statistic that takes into account 2-point field goals, 3-point field goals, and free throws. It's arguably the best statistic out there when it comes to calculating efficiency. And this season, in 2023, just when we thought he peaked in the finals, Steph Curry is taking it to a whole nother level. I'll do a quick comparison here with some NBA legends and show you what I mean. We'll start off with Michael Jordan. He's quote-unquote the GOAT of basketball, and most consider him the best to ever play the game. His highest true shooting percentage season was back in '89, where he was at 61% while averaging 32.5 points per game. The Black Mamba, Kobe Bryant, was known to destroy his opponents and was literally unguardable. Well, his highest true shooting percentage was 58% when he averaged 31.6 points per game back in '07. And then you have LeBron James. He was widely acknowledged as an efficiency machine back in his Miami days, and in 2014, he had the best true shooting percentage of his career at 65% while he averaged 27 points a game. Now let's get to Steph Curry. This season so far, the baby-faced assassin has a true shooting percentage of 69.1% while averaging 31.7 points. That is insane. He's outperforming these NBA greats by a wide margin and is redefining the definition of excellence. There's literally been nothing like it before in the history of the game. Oh, and by the way, if you're wondering what's a good number for his true shooting statistic, it's 60%. If an NBA player has a true shooting percentage of 60% or above, they're considered elite. And yet, Steph's above that line of elite by like 10%. Now let's switch gears a bit and see how Steph compares with the top scorers in today's NBA. This season, the leading scorer is Luka, who's sitting with a true shooting percentage of 60.7. Joel Embiid, when he's healthy and playing games, is considered unstoppable and is currently at 63.2. SGA is at 62, Giannis is at 57, Tatum is at 63, Durant's at 64, and even Anthony Davis, who's been tearing up the league, is only at 63.4%. Sheesh, guys. Even against the best of the best in today's NBA, Steph's currently in his own world. He's the smallest player on that list of top scorers, but is head and shoulders above everyone else when it comes to efficiency. Then, on top of all of this, he's affecting the game in other areas too. Out of every guard in the NBA, he's the 7th best when it comes to rebounding this season with 6.6 boards a game. He's not competing with other short guards either. I mean, he's rebounding about as much as Jaylen Brown and Ben Simmons are currently, and take a look at this historic comparison. Dwayne Wade stood at 6'4" and is widely considered the 3rd best shooting guard in NBA history behind Jordan and Kobe, and is a lot more athletic than Steph, which was evident from his leaping abilities, and yet Steph is averaging more rebounds than Wayne did in his best rebounding season. And this segues directly into my next point. How can Steph bag his 3rd regular season MVP? Because despite him putting up historic numbers that arguably tops his unanimous season, he's only 5th currently in the most valuable player ladder, with Luka, Tatum, Jokic, and Giannis ahead of him. Well, there's like two things hurting Curry right now, but the crazy thing is, neither are his fault. First off, it's obvious that his team's success is preventing him from climbing to the top. Although the Warriors are starting to heat up a bit, they started off the season really slow, and it's a tough climb to the top when you're not one of the best teams in the conference. If the Warriors can climb to a first or second seed, which is completely possible, then the only reason why he wouldn't bag his third MVP trophy has to do with my second point, and that's voters fatigue / haters. The media knows Steph is the best player on the planet. He's the reigning finals MVP, and although he isn't physically imposing, as a result of the combination of his handles, shooting abilities, basketball IQ, ability to score from everywhere and anywhere on the court, he's hands down the most dangerous player in the NBA. And the media reported on him for the entire playoffs last year, and for practically the past decade for that matter. And at this point in time, they're tired of hearing about him and want something new, and as a result, if all things are even, they're probably going to have to give it to someone who's new and marketable, like Luka Doncic. Still though, if the Mavericks keep falling and if the Warriors keep rising up the ladder, I definitely see Steph winning it over Luka and the other three players mentioned earlier. This segues into my next point, and that's, how is Steph doing this all? I mean, why can't most NBA players be as good as him? And this, ladies and gentlemen, comes down to his preparation. Just like how Michael Jordan had the legendary Tim Grover as a trainer, who did crazy things like count every step MJ took in his games to best get him ready for games, Curry's trainer, Brandon Payne, is using every last bit of technology to get Curry to that next level. Let me show you what I mean by first taking the legendary baseball player Babe Ruth as an example. Research has shown that he had some of the best eyes and most athletic brains in baseball. I mean, the numbers that researchers studied was that his ability to perceive things was 150% faster than the normal man, and when it comes to processing visual information, he was 12% faster. Well, Steph Curry's trainer has him training with what's called strobe goggles, which is a technology that helps the brain reach warp speed, so that when he's actually on the court playing basketball, everything seems to be moving in slow motion for him. Then after that, Payne has Steph training with what's called the Fit Light system, which is a bunch of palm-sized discs that helps train his reaction time, speed, agility, and coordination. The whole idea is sensory overload, so that when he's in a real game, what seems really fast for a regular basketball player is actually just regular game speed for Curry. I'm sure there's a lot more that goes on behind the scenes, but when you combine all this otherworld training that Steph does along with his regular basketball routines, what you get is this. Here's Steph with the ball in transition. He's being guarded by the 2020 #1 overall pick, Anthony Edwards. First, he fakes going left and then dribbles behind the back like it's another Sunday walk at the park. Then, when he sees the Draymond screen, he uses it. Then, when he sees just a fraction of daylight for a fraction of a second, he was already rising up for the shot, and there was nothing the secondary defender could do. Here's one more example. Anthony Lamb is on the ground scrambling for the loose ball, and here's Steph. First, even when moving without the ball, he psychs out his defender by faking right and cutting left instead. Then, when he catches the ball, without even a split second of hesitation or thinking, he's already on his way up, laying the ball over the outstretched arms of 7-foot Lauri Markkanen. Sheesh, guys. I'm still amazed how he got that up so fast with such precision. Anyways, just like how Kareem Abdul-Jabbar held his scoring record since 1989, the things that Steph is able to do on the basketball courts are things we will very well never see for decades to come. And just like how people today are saying, I wish I could have seen MJ play, 10, 20, 30 years down the road, the basketball world is going to be saying, I wish I could have seen Steph play.